Oh, hiya guys, and welcome back to Wade's Workshop. Well, the machining's finished for the day, so it's quite alright to have a cold one. Anyway, as the title suggests, in this episode we're going to reveal the nature of the mystery tool, which so far we've got this sort of swivelly bit and a rotating base. Many of you will guess by now what it is, but we're going to go on and make the rest or a few more of the pieces for this. So, here, let me show you, is the new toolbox which has arrived to fill in the gap from the old tin one, as it were, the one I told you about I was getting rid of in the last episode. One viewer did ask me if you could send him the box, you know, if he could have it to restore it. My apologies for that. I took it straight to the skip when I was doing a skip run. So, yeah, it's basically gone to the local tip. Yeah, it was, yeah, pretty much had it and served its purpose over many years. So, let's show you this toolbox. So here it is, oak tool chest, toolmaker's tool chest. You can see the remains of the Moore and Wright logo. A little bit of backstory on this box and as to why I wanted one. Back in the day when you finished your apprenticeship, you had a choice. Basically, you could have a copy of Machinery's Handbook, well I've got one of those, or a Moore and Wright tool chest. I'd always wanted one. I've been looking about on eBay for various tool chests. Now in the UK, Moore and Wright is basically our Starrett for you American viewers. So this is the equivalent of a Starrett tool chest. It's a Moore and Wright. It's a sort of the best of the British brands who made a toolmaker's tool chest. I don't know when they started making them, but for many, many years, I don't believe they make them anymore. So this one does have the key. Much the same as you see on many tool chests, the face slides in underneath. It's had a few replacement knobs over the years. The nuts on the inside are different on this drawer. But yeah, the Moore and Wright logo again on the bottom drawer, which is perfectly standard. And 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 drawer tool chest. I haven't put anything in it yet. You know, it's had a life, as you can see. Many oily prints on the underside of the drawers where they've been carried around. But this one, all the runners are in place. Everything's there. Somebody has given it a coat of shellac or oil of you know, French polish of some description. Bought on eBay. I've been looking for one of these for so long, and I see many of them that say similar to Moore and Wright, or that have got like a, you know, a drawer missing or a pretty dilapidated in a sorry state. No lock, no key, no lock plate. And I've been bidding on them for quite some time trying to find one. This one came up and I got it for my maximum bid that I was planning. In fact, I got it for £50 less than what I was prepared to pay. So, yeah, very happy with it. You know, it's all there. That's going to be filled with all my micrometers and precision tools. So I've already recorded all the bits and pieces you're going to see from here on in, hence why I'm allowed to have a beer. I'm not doing any more machining. Yeah, bit of turning, bit of milling. I'm using up materials that I've actually got lying around rather than buying anything in. You know, I don't want to do that. So I'm using what I've got. I'm going to do a bit of filing, a bit of sort of unconventional marking out as opposed to, you know, machining to dimensions, that sort of thing. I normally pick a dimension and machine something to that dimension. But this is going to be to lines and what have you. But you'll see that as we go along. So enjoy, guys. So I got a horrible looking piece of bar here, piece of aluminium bar. I haven't got any aluminium sort of 10, 12, 13 mil thick, which is what I'm after. And I found this sort of end bar, which has had a grinder through it. It's had all sorts. So I'm just going to face up both sides and get it to some sort of thickness, and then that'll give me the raw material I need. So yeah, as you can see, I'm just going to face it down till it cleans up across this face, and we'll go from there really. Horrible intermittent cut, but yeah, tip will survive that in aluminium, no problem. squint at this. Where are we? It's getting a couple more mil. Still plenty of thickness. Well, I run it up 800 RPM. Should probably increase the RPM as I get towards the centre. It's the beauty of the vary speed. You can change speeds on the fly. Something you can't do with a gear head lathe really, unless you're running an inverter. Can't be far away now. By the time I clean up this shoulder here, I think we'll be there. Not quite. Take a quick shufty at that. Just come off the end. Very nearly near. Nearly near, yeah. Very nearly there now. Just lock the carriage up there. Okay, that should give me a flat side. It does, all by the shouting. I'm going to spin it round, put this space against the chuck, and do the other side relative to that, because the other side's just as gnarly as you can see. So I should be able to push that back firmly. Just give that a little tap tap. Just make sure that's square. Make sure we're tight. I don't think this one's as far out. And at least that'll give me a flat piece of stock-ish. Bit more. Oh, keep winding. Let's try that. Here. Just put the tool a little bit angled round in the tool holder in the tool post, just to give a bit more clearance on the front face for the swap to churn around in. There we go. I still haven't found the WD-40. Okay. We now have a flat piece of stock. So it's, I'm looking for a 40mm wide part. I'll just touch off there, set a 0. This original bar was 70mm. So, oops, I'm in metric. So I've got to take 15mm off here. Oh, something slipped there. Hold on, lost half a mil somewhere along the line there. Try again. Better. ply cutter, tool of choice for most occasions here. In fact, fed up with winding the handle already. Let's use power feed. A bit more RPM. So yeah, that's 2 mil off, 13 to go. Just while that cutter's running back across there, I've been asked several times where I got this toolmaker's vice from, and I kept thinking it was either RD, and it wasn't RDG. I kept thinking it was from Arc Hero Trade. As it turns out, I was digging through some drawers here and I came across the invoice for it. Let me just switch that off. And I actually got it from this firm, Buy Brand Tools, based in Sheffield. Yeah, no doubt that it's come from, or Chinese origin. But yeah, I'm very happy with it. I may at some point buy another one, so I got a pair of them the same. But that was the firm. So apologies to all those they said it was RDG or Arc Hero Trade or places like that. It actually turns out that it was from Buy Brand Tools. Okay, so that's the 15 mil off there. We'll pop it out of the vise now. Put a little chamfer on front and back. In fact, I can do that on camera. Just a deburr, really. Cool. And just a little deburr. Got a bit of swarf in the bottom of the vise there. Okay. Pop it in the other way. I'll give it a little tap down on the bottom of the vise, not that it's necessary. Right, another 15 mil. Yeah, you've seen what I'm doing. So just square it up there. Oh. And yeah, I'm going to machine this flat now. Well, I am going to go all the way because I'm going to put some radii on the corner, so we'll get it best part of the way there, I would have thought. Okay, let's see where we are. Do a touch off there. Let's get somewhere in the middle. Here's a touch off. Okay, same again. So, slight change of plan. Where the old outside, or the radius on the outside of the round part had a step on it, I'm just going to put a couple of 45s on this end. And that's pretty much this end done. I'll just come to the top. There we are, we'll do a touch off there. Okay. Did the other corner already to just be on the cleanup. It's very nearly there now. One more thing. Tiny pass. There we are, that's a 45 on there as well. Just a small flat on here now down to that inner part. There's going to be some tapers on the side here and a radius pretty much. I want a flat where that's going to sit, dead flush on the outside. Then I'm going to radius down and then taper out to the 40. So that's where we're going with that. So I need to touch off again. Camera died, I'm afraid, guys, so I missed the drilling of these two holes. But this one was 5 mil for an M6 and this one's clearance on 10 mil. So this is going to be a base plate for the unit. I've got an M6 tap up in the collet. I'm just going to locate the plate. The outsides aren't finished yet. Let's just put a bit of rubbish in that thread. It's just a standard stud for the time being. We're going to have a thumb wheel or something on here, I think. There we go. Let me just locate it. I'm over the groove in the table. Let's just locate that tap in the centre of that hole. Light some pressure on the quill. And there we are. So that's ready to tap. I can probably do this by hand. Bit of tapping compound. Yeah. I don't know, you might not be able to see there. Is my hand in the way? That should keep it nice and square. Okay, so we'll just reverse this out now. Let's just start her up. Okay, so I'll finish that off with a tap wrench by hand, and that's an M6 tapped hole done. So I've still got the second vise set up on my table from a previous job. So I've just popped it in the vise. I'm just going to finish this off by hand tapping. There we go, we were best part of the way there anyway. Okay. So that's an M6 thread in there. I have got some long M6 bolts somewhere. I'm going to have to work out how long a thread I want. And we'll put a stud in here, and I think we'll Loctite it into position. But I'm not going to do that at this stage. I think I'll just use a bolt for the next step of the procedure. So I've got the part you saw me make previously with a scallop cut out in it. I'm going to just pop it on there upside down. And just got an M6 bolt here. I'm just going to bolt that part onto the end there. Let me just put it with the scallops on the sides. I think that'll be better, front to back. There we go. I'll just tighten that bolt up. So I'm going to need to use my fly cutter, and I've noticed that the edge has just gone off it slightly. So I'm just going to use a small flat stone. Oh, let's just grip it better. Just lap the front face. And again, as you can see, I got a draft angle of about 5 degrees. Difficult for me to keep out of your way here for the camera. Just relapping that front face. Okay, I don't know how well it shows. Let me just, I'm going to have to turn the screen on my camera to see if I'm in shot. Where are we? And you can see around the radius on this tip here, you can see the shiny surface where I've lapped it basically with a stone. And the front face is just lapped up on the outer edge there. So that now will work nicely on aluminium as my fly cutter. So I've got the part set up in my vise here, and it's rotating on this circle. So it doesn't matter what angle it is, the height of the top of the circle will stay the same, and I'm holding it down against the vise. So if I just centralise my cutter in X. Oh, handle's hitting the tripod. Okay, that's about it. I'll just bring that cutter down just to a slightest touch. Set a 0 on my quill DRO. Okay, so I can move along now to the other end and rotate the part until my angle, or until that cutter on 0 is at the same point. I'll show you that. I just moved the cutter out of the way, or the tripod out of the way I should say. So I'll come along to the end, or somewhere near. Let's just come right onto the end. I'm going to bring that quill back down to the 0. Let me just set it to 0, which is the known height of the top of that circle. There we are. I'll just lock the quill.
So if I go right on the end of that part, on that intersection point, and I'll just rotate up, as you can see, I can rotate the part up till that cutter just touches on the top. There we are. And that point, I can lock my vise. There we are. And I've now set an angle between that point there where the chamfer intersects with that flat and the top surface of this part. So if I wind back up again, hold on, come completely up. I'm not sure how far I can come. Okay, I'm going to need to take my head up a bit. Let me just set a 0 in it, a Z. Okay. And bring the centre of the cutter about the centre of the part. And basically we're going to fly cut across there now until I just get somewhere near the top of this part, and it should work out onto that intersection on the end.
So I've brought my Z axis down now. That's the last cut, back to its 0 mark, which is where it was before I had to move it up again. So I'll now start using the quill to come back to my initial 0 reading. So we're getting closer now. There's 1.3mm off the finished size, or the original 0. Just taking like 0.2 at a time. And I should find when I get to 0, with the intersection, it cleans up to the end. It's purely cosmetic, it's not important. So it's a quick and dirty way of setting this up. It's purely cosmetic, as I say. It's not a functional part, it's a looky part. We've just scratched the little circular disc, and that should clean up on the end. Here we are. That's it, all by the shouting. Just let that run back the other way, and we'll do exactly the same on the other side. So that's the other side cleaned up. So we need to put a radius on this end, or on this end of the part we're milling. So what I'm going to do, let me just try and explain, is rotate the part. I'm actually going to come off 0.1 maybe on the cut, and I'm going to rotate the part down in the vise, maybe, you know, I don't know, 10-15 degrees, something like that. Start my cutter up. I'm going to take a cut to there. I'm basically roughing this out. Feeding it. Okay, that'll do for the first step. Spin it round a bit more, maybe there, somewhere between the two, probably about 30 degrees there, probably doing about 15 degree steps. It's going to be fairly heavy, the cut, but only for a short length. Okay. And I'll keep going like that right round the periphery, and it'll save me. I just loosened off the circle then. Why did I do that? You didn't tell me, guys. Not to worry. So next one, I'll have to just come out the vise towards the edge a bit here. Something like that. So a little short piece.
maybe one more step around there, and that's going to allow me to file that in. Can't quite get it. Let's have a look. That'll probably do me. Okay. So same the other way now. Just going to have to take those burrs off, but you can see the makings of the radius coming in already. You know, I got 1, 2, 3, 4 facets on there. I could have done much smaller steps and got, you know, saved myself a lot of filing, but, you know, we'll get there quite quickly with doing it this method. Let me just take the burrs off the back. I'm just going to take these burrs off. So I've got a tidy file in the vise here. It's not gripping it hard. I can take my part and a series of strokes. And as you can see, the rad has removed all the little peaks that were on there and blended it into one great big radius. So that's quite a coarse finish at the moment. There's a little step there on the intersection, so I can lie it flat and just there we go, get that away. Not far off on that side. Okay, so I'll get a much finer file now, dress that in with a finer file, but as you can see, the radius is all there, ready to rock and roll. So I need a piece of M6 stud rod, or rodding of some sort, and I found this screw, which is machined all the way up, which is about the perfect length. It's just short of all the way through, and there's enough thread there for me to use it for what its intended purpose is. So I'm going to take the screw out, cut the top off on the lathe, and just taper on the end, and I'm going to Loctite it into the base plate. So I've degreased both parts. I'm just going to put some Loctite on the stud. No need to go mad with Loctite. Bottle of this sort of size will last you, well, I suppose it depends how much Loctite work you're doing, but you know, it should last you a couple of years, I would have thought. That'll do me. I'll wipe off the excess and leave it probably 24 hours. It won't take that long. So I just found this piece of stainless, and I'm just going to true up what we got here. It looks appropriately sized for what I'm after. A little thumb wheel. Just space it off. Just true up this diameter. Again, this has had a former life as something else. Okay, I want to put a knurl on this diameter. Maybe a little bit small, but if it's too small, we'll make another one that's bigger. I just want a true surface for knurling. Throwing a bit. Another cut should do it. That's it. I'm not worried about the diameter, it's just a clean up for this. Okay, so I've got my knurling tool up. It's still got brass all over it, but that won't hurt. Let's just slow things down a little. Can't go too slow. My lathe can't hack it. Just work it back and forth over that surface. There's still plenty of oil on there. In fact, let me find my oil can. There it is, it's right next to me. Get a bit of oil in there. Be nice to the knurling wheels. Increase the tension. Just work my way back and forth. Should be close now. Doing this in real time so you can see how quick it can be done. I'm just going to switch off there. Have a quick look at the knurl. Maybe another pass or two. That's about it. Just working it back and forth. I'm only moving it in and out 3 mil. I'll just unlock my knurling tool and come away. Okay. Yeah, that'll do nicely. We have a knurl on there. So with the knurl in place, I need a diameter on this. Let's just touch off. I'm going to take a scratch pass and set a 0. Length looks about right for what I'm after. We'll have a measure of that and see where it is in relation to what we're after. A quick measure, and I'm looking for just under 9 mil. 9 mil or just under 13.2. Okay, plenty of meat on there. Let's take a mil aside. Okay. Oh, let's get a bit of glue. So 5 mil drill going in, cobalt drill, stainless steel. So I'm going to tap 6 mil. So parting tool up now. And your cutting compound. Keeping the pressure on. There we go. The finish is pretty good on there, but I think we'll just give it a light lick. Well, not literally a lick. A scratch pass. Oop. Just to pretty it up. Okay. Follow it up with a follow it up with a chamfer, the same as the one on the other side. that'll do me. I think what I'll do is open up this side over about 10 mil with a 6, maybe a 6.5 drill. 2 seconds, let me find the right drill. There we go, 6.5 drill. So we're going to put a bit of clearance in the back for the thread. We don't need a thread 25 mil long in stainless, I mean it's just pointless. Slow it down. I'll probably go in with this, I don't know, about 8 mil. That'll probably do me. Less tapping to do. And I think we need a nice chamfer in that hole. Not organised today, should have had everything to hand really. I do like to if I think that far ahead normally, but obviously today I'm not. Okay, there we are, nice chamfer in the top. Other than tapping it through, I think that's that part done. So just to test it out, basically if I loosen that knob off on there, that rises up and down, but not as much as I wanted it to. I think the shoulder on this bolt needs to be about 6, well the nut, sorry, let's bring the nut off. I think I needed about 6 mil more on this shoulder, but this will be handy going forward for something. I'm sure it'll go in the drawer, and I'll make another one 6 mil longer. So that basically sits in there. Let's bring him down somewhere near. Whoop. So that's at the bottom. Loosen it off, it revolves and goes up and down. As they say, it will go higher in relation to the base plate. And then if at any point I lock it off, as you can see, that is rock solid. And what it does, it pushes down on the barrel nut, down on this shaped spacer, and pulls up towards the base, and that the barrel nut is basically locking everything in place in a downward direction. But that is, oh, in fact I can't, if I really go for it, I can actually move it, but as a stop, which is what it's going to be, a milling table stop. So if you imagine there's a pin in here, so let me just loosen off the base, loosen it all up. So let's have a look. Say I put something in the vise, or in the milling vise here. Let's just clamp that in the milling vise. Yeah, so basically there'll be a bar which can move in and out here. So if I want to clamp something there, in fact I'll probably go to the back of the table. So let's just pull that out. So put that there somewhere. I'm going to make a thumb wheel for this as well. That's going to be too far back because the pin's there. Well, the pin would be back here somewhere. So let's just loosen that off again. Bring it round here somewhere. No worries, I can then orientate this back to straight. Bring it up till the pin's against the part. So it's going to be something like about there. And I would lock it off. And that would allow me then to remove parts and put them back in again, up against the fixed stop. And that stop could be over here, could be anywhere, up, down, left, right, you know, what you get the picture. That's how it's going to work. So we need to make the rest of it, and that'll be for another part. So I think that pretty much concludes the machining that I'm going to fit into this video. I think it's going to be 35, 36 minutes long, something like that. Some stickers have arrived from another fellow YouTuber, Joe Gardner, and that's Machining with Joe. I've subscribed to Joe's channel. Joe is starting out in machining, and he's done lots of videos on the Warco WM180 and lots of improvements very similar to the ones I've done. He's actually just done a stepper motor power feed on his, and it's something I've got the parts for in the corner over here, but I haven't got around to doing it yet. It's on my project list, but gone down a very similar route to the one I'm going to go down. So anyway, that channel is Machining with Joe. So there we are. Machining with Joe. So check him out, guys, and that's Joe Gardner at Machining with Joe. So thanks for the stickers, Joe, and I believe you already received the ones from me. So moving on, yeah, that thumb wheel that I put on the top, 6mm too short. Never mind, I'm sure little thumb wheels come in handy all the time, so we'll use that for something else going forward. It'll go in the drawer of trinkets. And I think I'm going to make one, obviously the right length, maybe a little bit longer again, and a bigger diameter so that I haven't got to fight with it to get the torque that I'm looking for to clamp up the little unit. But yep, cat's out of the bag now. It's an adjustable stop for the milling table that can be used on parts directly on the table or in conjunction with the vise. So that's that. Anyway, as per usual, thanks for watching, guys. Thank you so much for subscribing. We're homing in on the 10,000 mark now. I think as we stand today, 9,850 something. So yeah, not far, less than 150 to go, let's put it that way. So if you haven't subscribed already, please hit that subscribe button, give me the thumbs up, and thank you for watching. We'll see you all very soon. Cheers now.